Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So, if you asked me at the beginning of the year if I saw myself reviewing a flip phone in the year 2019, the answer would have been a resounding no. But I was approached by Alcatel about their Go Flip 3 phone. Now, it's available for T-Mobile and Metro PCS. They have another version. It's the same phone, just has a different name for AT&T. And they asked me if I would review it. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. And surprisingly, I've been incredibly impressed with this little flip phone. Now, what makes this flip phone so special is not just the fact that you can do this, which is really cool. Nothing makes you feel better in the world whenever you get off of a heated or an angry phone call and you're like, it's so gratifying. It's so nice. Or, I remember back in like the year 2000, 2002, and I'm like, fada, let me answer my phone. Because, it was really cool. Late 90s, early 2000s, smartphones really were kind of like a status symbol. Not everybody really had them yet, and they were expensive. Of course, you were important, and then that carried over to the BlackBerry and then the iPhone, and we're kind of in the world where we're at now. But, outside of the fact that you can really aggressively close the phone and you can flip it open and look really cool. Now, you get looked at for different reasons out in public now when you open a flip phone like that. It's not like, oh, let me reach into my suit and flip my phone open. It's like, why the heck are you using a flip phone in 2019? So, back to what makes this special. It's not just a flip phone. It actually has a quad-core processor in it, and it has Google Assistant, Google Maps, and YouTube. And all three of them work really, really well. I was surprised. I tested them out. I downloaded the old Snake game. I downloaded a chess game. You can even use Twitter on here. So, yeah, it's a flip phone, but it's a smart flip phone. It's enhanced. So, flip phones nowadays are not just for older people who do not want to, adopt a smartphone or don't want to mess with them. They've been using one of these for a long time and it's fine. They're not just for kids. But I think there's also a special little niche market now for people who want a minimalist phone. They don't want all the distractions, but they want some of the technological capabilities like being able to use Google Maps, Google Assistant, YouTube, all that stuff. But, with a nice, convenient, cheap form factor like this. So I still think that there's a place in the world for these, especially at $100. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Alcatel Go Flip 3 and see what all the fuss is all about in 2019. All right, so here we are with the Alcatel Go Flip 3, the flip phone of the future here in 2019. So as you can see, it's got this fancy 2.8-inch LCD screen. You've got the external one, which is 1.44 inches, and it tells you the time, the network signal, battery, all that good stuff. It lets you know what the date is. So it's a functioning display that works to give you information, so you don't have to flip the phone open. You have your 2-megapixel camera there as well on the outside of the clamshell. And then on the side, you have your headphone jack, which you can listen to. You can download MP3s on here, and you can even use it as a FM radio, which is cool. It's got the speaker on the back. It's VoLTE capable, Wi-Fi calling capable, so that's a really nice enhancement that this flip phone has, in addition to the LTE with band 71, which is the 600 megahertz spectrum that T-Mobile released this last year. So you should have a very, very strong, fast, reliable signal pretty much anywhere. It has music player, video player, web browser, email, and it's got a quad-core processor in it, like I mentioned earlier, and it's running on the Kai OS, which is a very simple to use interface. You just use the buttons up, down, hit the enter button. There's not a whole lot to it whatsoever. It has micro SD card support, and of course it has the 1350 milliamp battery on the inside of it. So that's kind of a rundown of the specs before we get in too deep with talking about the phone, especially if you didn't watch the unboxing. So at least you got all the information you need on the hardware itself. All right, so before I get into the rest of the review, I want to show you this part because I'm sure that I'll get questions about it. Since it does have a removable battery, you have to take the little shell off the bottom of it so you can get to the battery. And then underneath the battery is where the SIM card and your SD card goes. Now, it uses a micro SD card and it uses a nano SIM. So if you have a micro SIM that came from your previous phone, it's not going to work. You're going to have to get a nano SIM. And then they both slide in there. They're pretty easy. And then you put the shell back on. Now, just to double back and reiterate, the little notch on the bottom of this is on the bottom right portion. So if you're holding the phone in your hand upright, you just see that little groove right there and it pops off with finger pressure. It's very easy, so you can put the battery in there, take it out, your SIM card, SD card, and all that good stuff. All right, so taking a look at the user interface here, the OK button and the circle around it is actually a directional pad. So that little circle, you can press up, down, left, or right. If you hit left, it goes over to the Google menu there that's already on the home screen. But it's not indicated by arrows, but that's how you use the directional pad. One other thing I did want to mention is that the signal strength is really good on this phone and call quality is also excellent. So if you like to talk on the phone, then this is a good one for you. Now let's take a look here at the Google Maps and I'll show you how easy it is to use the Google Map application. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of a voice search here whenever it comes to using Google Maps. So we'll go ahead and hit the OK button. Toyota Center. Ta-da! So it found the Toyota Center downtown. Now you can click on details and it'll tell you about it, give you the address, the information, all that cool stuff. And then the other button here for directions. So we'll get directions from, let's say, Galveston. So all you have to do is long press to use the voice. Galveston. There we go. We'll just select Galveston as our starting point, and then it'll give us our directions. So it tells us that it's a 53-minute drive, 2 hours train or bus, 2 days to walk, which, if you're really feeling froggy, I guess you can do that. But we'll click on drive, and it gives you all the information there. So really cool. You can get on details. It gives you the detailed play-by-play, and then you just hit go. And there we go. It'll tell you the directions, and you can get there in a jiffy. So super nice. And then you can go forward and backwards with the directions. So it's very nice. And then you can use the little D-pad here to scroll around to look at other stuff around it. So super nice. And then to get out, you just hold down the end call button. And we'll go back to the home screen. All right, so another illustration here with the Google Assistant. You can use it just like any other Google Assistant. And you can ask it things, tell it to do things. So here, I've got one. So, tell me a joke.
Why did the school kids eat their homework? Because their teacher told them it was a piece of cake.
Ha ha ha. And then, it'll show you more jokes. So there's that. We use it cancel, you can go back. Ask another question. What time is it?
It's 11:25.
All right, so you can see there that the Google Assistant is fully functioning as well as it works with the Google Maps. So the important thing to remember here though is you need to be on Wi-Fi or you have to be on LTE so you can access it. It's not an offline database for Google Assistant. You actually have to be connected to some sort of internet, whether that's Wi-Fi or LTE, so you can use these features. All right, so taking a look at the phone here, you've got the simple configuration here, up takes you to your quick menu, go back, down, and right. Don't do anything from the home screen, but if you do left, it takes you to your quick options there for the Google stuff. Actually, it's really nice. Let me go ahead and show you YouTube. And YouTube works surprisingly well. It works in windowed and landscape mode, so you can turn the screen sideways. So here we go. Tech Odyssey. So there's my channel, and press the down button a lot. Here's my latest review that I put up here. And this will give ensemble. You can pair it up with whichever your individual style is. And it's got this nice microfiber lining on the inside of it. It's a felt-like material, so it keeps it from getting scratches on the inside. And the sound comes out here. Some cases are prone to getting dust and debris in the inside, and it can scratch your case, but that's not going to happen here. Now here is
And then you can
the
flip it
same
back that
leather
way.
on my wallet. It's the Nomad, bifold charging wallet. I don't think they sell anymore.
So there you go. You can see that YouTube actually does work pretty well. All right, so one other nice thing here with this KaiOS is you've got the App Store, which you can go in there. It's very simple stuff, and I believe it's all free. But you can get Twitter, you can get Facebook, you can get WhatsApp on here, and there's a whole slew and selection of different stuff. So there's recommended stuff, social stuff, so WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. There's games on here. You can get chess, you can get old school snake game. So there's lots of different stuff on here, and of course, it's all free. So you can have some fun and find some stuff that you want to do on here to make your phone experience more engaging or give you something to do, other than just making phone calls or using the Google features. So it's nice that this is in here. It is very reminiscent of being a year 2000 phone, but with the LTE and the quad-core processor in here, it's pretty quick. So I mean, just checking it out, we'll go to the menu here, and here's the chess game. Which has ads, of course. So, and it's just a simple little chess game. There's not a whole lot to it, but it works well. And then you hit the reset button. And then, this wouldn't be a review if I didn't show off the snake game. All the fancy goodness y'all missed out on as a kid. So this was cutting edge technology when I first got my cell phone.
All right, so another thing we have here is the rest of the menu items. You can go to Google. Google works just like it does on any other phone or your desktop. You can click on the search bar there. You can use your voice, or you can type out whatever it is that you want to search for. One important thing I do want to highlight, though, this phone does not have an overly large battery in it. I mean, it's 1350 milliamps, which is great for this tiny LCD screen. But the more you use these things, of course, it will eat into the battery more than just making phone calls and text messages and all that stuff, especially, like Google Assistant and like Google Maps. Now, the camera is perfectly fine. I mean, it is only a 2 megapixel camera, so don't expect the best camera performance in the world, but it's perfectly capable of snapping a picture if you need to. And then you can plug it into your computer and offload stuff, or you can send it in a multimedia message or a text message. So you can get them off the phone fairly easily. It's not that big of a deal. And one other thing, I logged into Twitter last night before I made this video, and I was using it. I don't know why it logged me out, so hopefully it doesn't do that to you if you log in on your Twitter account. But one thing I wanted to highlight with your contacts. So if you have a Google account already, you can log into this with your Google Gmail account and get access to your email. But to get your contacts loaded, that's how you do it. So you have to sign into your Gmail on here, and then it will import your contacts. So you can get access to your contacts, your Gmail, and all the other cool stuff that's associated with that, so you don't have to go and hand jam all of it into the phone.
All right, so this wouldn't be a thorough review of this device, and it wouldn't be a good trip down memory lane if we didn't revisit the Stone Age of typing, which is using a number pad to type messages. So you have to use this corresponding number on the number pad, and you can see there's 3 letters for the number 2, 3 letters for the number 3, and you have to figure out which number you need to press to create which letter. Now, it is smart, so it tries to piecemeal it together. So instead of having to hit 2 3 times to get to C, and 5 3 times to get to L, stuff like that, it'll try and string it together so you can just hit like 4 3 5 5 6, and it'll give you the option for hello. So it has the smart suggestions there, and then you can hit the asterisk or the star down on the bottom so you can come up with the symbol, so you can put your sentence together the way that you want it to. Now, it does take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're used to using a full QWERTY keyboard on a physical keyboard, or the software keyboard on the screen, it's a giant step in the backwards direction. But it does work, and it works better than just the regular T9 typing from back in the day, where you have to hit the number, a corresponding number of times to get the appropriate letter, symbol, or number that you want. And then the 0 button is the space bar, or you can just hold it down and you can get to the 0 that way. So it's pretty easy. So in addition to hand jamming stuff on the number pad, you can also use the voice to text, which actually works really well, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate here how well you can use it. Hello, exclamation point. How are you, question mark. And we'll let it work its magic, and you can see it translated it exactly the way that it was supposed to. So the voice to text is really fast on here, and it's so nice compared to typing stuff on the numbers. So let's try one more example and see how it works. I am fine, period. Thanks for asking, period. Today is a beautiful day, exclamation point. We should go outside for a walk, period. And as you can see, Google Assistant pulled it off marvelously again. The voice to text on here is fantastic, and really, it's such a great alternative to being to having to type out on the number pad. So if you want a flip phone, this is definitely the one to get if you want those smart capabilities along with the simplicity of a flip phone.
All right, so that's all that I've got on the Alcatel Go Flip 3 flip phone of the future, the 2019 flip phone. As you saw, it's really fancy with the Google Maps, the YouTube, Google Assistant, all that cool stuff. You can do voice to text whenever you're texting things, so it's not just hand jamming everything, on the number keyboard down there and all that jazz. So I think it's probably the most compelling reason to own a flip phone, this far into the future. I mean, 2019, they're not really a staple whenever it comes to, what people carry out in the real world, but there still is very convincing and compelling reasons if you're interested in one of these. And of course, the price, you're talking $100 versus spending $200, $300, $400, $500, $1,300. I mean, there's so many. There are flip phones, there are smartphones, there are folding phones now. There's phones out there for every different walk of life, every price point, every economic factor. So if this is something that works for you, if this is something you're interested in, and I've been surprised with the amount of interest that I have gotten in this just from the unboxing video alone. So I believe that Alcatel's onto something. There's still a market here. And if you want a flip phone in 2019, especially if you use Metro, PCS, T-Mobile, or AT&T, I think this is probably the strongest case. And I think that it's a really solid product. So if you're interested, take a look. Alcatel Go Flip 3. I have the links down at the bottom so you can check it out. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button. Hit the little notification bell so you can get the latest and the greatest. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.